What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the FATletic experiment. For those of you who don't know, a couple months ago, I started a 90-day experiment to see if I could go from fat to athletic in a timely fashion. And so far, I've made pretty good progress. I started out with a strength and fat loss phase where I just aimed to lose some fat, get stronger, get my joints and stuff ready to start adding more athletic movements on. Then second, I did a power phase where I was trying to progress power clean, and back squat to an extent, just to improve my rate of force development, build powerful legs that I'll need to be a better athlete, especially at a higher body weight. I need to be able to exert a lot of force with my legs very quickly. And now we're in the movement phase where I'm working on my jumping and my sprinting to actually become a good athlete, right? Work on expressing those qualities I've been building for the last 2 months. So we're about halfway through that phase. I'm gonna show you guys my full training split, what I'm doing to keep getting more athletic, keep trying to lose fat, and turn myself into the ultimate athlete that I believe I can be someday. The split I'm running is using two main philosophies. There's a mix of daily undulating periodization, right? So that means between my 2 lower body sessions in a week, I'm gonna be doing different exercises with different focuses, and long conjugate sequencing, which is a similar idea where I have multiple physical qualities that I am training right now, but the main emphasis is sprinting and max jumping, but I'm still training for strength, still training for power in the background. And so I'm still hitting those things, but with a lower volume and a lot of volume towards the jumping and sprinting, because those are the big focuses right now. That's basically what long conjugate sequencing is. And then that daily undulating periodization shows how that focus shifts throughout the week. Right? Big words, I like to say them, they make me sound smart, but big idea is that we're running 4 to 5 training days a week, kind of depending what I want to do for my upper body days. But the idea is sort of an upper lower push-pull legs type split, right? So day 1 for me has been Mondays. That's my first lower body day, and that's typically a jump day. So I'm going to get into the footage after this, but it's typically a jump day. So how I'm structuring my jump days is a French contrast set, which is a heavy lift paired with a plyometric that works similar joint functions, right? So in an ideal world, typically what I want to do right now on my jump days for that is a heavy box squat into depth jumps. I haven't done that a ton specifically this phase just because the gyms I've been at, I haven't consistently been in a gym where I could do those 2 exercises together easily, or I can even do a barbell squat at all. So you'll see the first session I did a Bulgarian split squat as my squat pattern because I was in a gym with only dumbbells and a cable machine, and that was just really the only thing I could have done. So I did Bulgarian split squats into depth jumps. And then after that, I get into another strength or power exercise. My preferred thing to go into after that is a hang clean. Same deal. Sometimes I'm in the apartment gym with only dumbbells and a couple machines. So in my most recent workout, I did hamstring curls instead just to develop the hamstrings. Hamstrings have been getting a little bit neglected, at least in the curling motion and the knee flexion movement pattern. I've been doing a lot of deadlifts, Romanian deadlifts, so I've been doing a lot of hinging, but not a lot of knee flexion. So doing some hamstring curls was good to get in there. And then that's it for the strength training. From there, it's just jump, 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 right? I'm going for about 10 to 20 minutes, depending on my knees feel on the day of jumping. If you don't know, I've had 4 knee surgeries in the past, 3 ACL tears, 2 meniscus tears. So I've had a history of knee issues, so I get knee pain pretty regularly, especially with jumping. Sprinting's not so bad, but jumping, I get pretty intense knee pain. So depending how my knees feel, depends on the amount of jumps I do, and I typically try to do a small mix of technique-focused jumps and full max intent jumps. I start with the max intent jumps, or I do a couple like technique jumps to get warm, and then I do max intent jumps because that's most fatiguing, and then I go back to those really technique, slower tempo jumps. The next day of training in the week is always going to be on Tuesday, and that's going to be my upper body session. Tuesdays, right now, just the way my schedule works out, it's the day I have the most free time, so that tends to be the day that I dedicate to doing a full upper body hypertrophy session, hypertrophy / strength. Basically what I'm doing is I'm alternating pushing and pulling movements until I'm through with my whole upper body. So typically I'll go like bench press, and then like a lat pull down, an incline dumbbell press, cable rows. I'll do a shoulder and abs superset and do a bicep and tricep superset. And that's typically what my upper body days look like. Not a big focus for me right now, just trying to get basically trying to get a pump, work on my strength a little bit. Planning on competing in a powerlifting meet in the next couple months here, probably in July. So I might be self-coached for that. So we'll see how that goes. But trying to get my bench decently respectable before I start really training for that. But in the meantime, mainly just focused on general strength, hypertrophy, physique goals more than anything. I want to look jacked while being a good athlete, and the upper body is most of what looking jacked is. I already have pretty big legs from just being like big and fat my whole life, like every time I squat up off my couch, it's like a normal person doing a 225 squat. So like free hypertrophy for me, I guess. But after that, Wednesday is going to end up being a rest day. As well as sometimes Thursdays. Wednesdays and Thursdays are my days where classes and work stack up really bad, so I just don't have time. Like I wake up, I go to class at 11, and then I have no breaks until I leave work at 7:30 that night. So I could work out in the morning, but it's typically easier to just rest. For the second lower body day, we're structuring it very, very similarly to the first lower body day, except with a focus on sprinting and single leg stuff rather than double leg jumping focus stuff, right? So I normally start off, instead of with a squat pattern, I start off with a hinge pattern complexed with either a broad jump, single leg bounds, or a very, very short sprint. My favorite is the single leg bounds, but I'm terrible at single leg bounds and I always look stupid doing them. I haven't had a chance to actually record this yet. Maybe that subconsciously was kind of part of it, where I was like, man, I don't have time. I don't want to record myself looking dumb anyway. But that's the first superset, single leg bounds, or first complex, single leg bounds with a hinge pattern. That's really just a great superset to establish sprinting. And then same deal, I like to go into an Olympic lift. Also hang cleans for my sprint days right now. I'm trying to get better at hang cleans. So it's hang clean every week. That's the only thing I'm consistently hitting twice a week. Only movement in the lower body that I'm consistently hitting twice a week. And then similar deal to the jumping, where I then go into sprinting. I typically will get warmed up, do some dynamic warm up on the field, and then I will pyramid down basically through different sprint distances. So I'll run a 40, and then I will run a 30, then 220s, 210s, right? And then my rest times are basically based on the typical like CSCS protocol is like a minute per 10 meters ran. So I'll rest 4 minutes after the first one, 3 minutes after the second one, and then I'll rest 2 minutes the rest of the time, including for those 10-meter ones. Those 10-meter ones are really focused on the start, and that's actually like, in terms of like anatomy and physiology, like I guess the first few strides of a sprint are the ones that carry over most to jumping, right? So that's why I'm trying to put a lot of emphasis on those last couple very, very short sprints that are basically completely focused on the start. Not stuff I'm super knowledgeable on. Right, this is all stuff that's new to me. I want to be a strength and conditioning coach someday, but I don't even have a bachelor's degree yet. I'm not certified to do any of that, so I'm trying to learn the information on myself, but not quite there yet. But that basically wraps up the training week, other than Saturday, Sunday is then push and pull. Pretty standard, very similar to the other upper body day, just with more volume to my pushing and pulling movements. So my push day, I showed one yesterday, bench press, incline dumbbell press, or no, I didn't do incline dumbbell press. I did shoulder press, lateral raises, chest flies, tricep push downs, and then I did some obliques at the end there. And then the back day will be like pull downs, rows, like pullovers, biceps, rear delts, and like six pack abs since I did obliques yesterday. That's the basic protocol, right? We're just repeating that over and over and over. And that's how we're going to get where I want to go. So far, I've seen great results from all this. I guess I don't 100% know, but a jump session that I did not record, I went up for a couple dunks, and I made my first one, made my second one, felt great. Didn't really get any good makes the rest of the day, because I switched to a higher hoop after that, because I think at my rec center, I haven't measured, so I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure the rims I started on are about 9.9, 9.10-ish, somewhere in that range. And then I went to a different core because those were getting used for intramurals. And the other ones I think are true 10 foot tall. And so I switched hoops, and I just like, I got like some like shitty like back ram rattles in ones, but I didn't get like a good like up through nice easy dunk. So I think the vertical's getting better. I think I'm getting a little more comfortable dunking. One thing I didn't mention, on days that I'm working out in a gym with a basketball court, I will do my max intent jumps on the basketball court, go for dunks instead of just freely jumping and like focusing on technique. I'll focus on a target because it tends to get you a better neural drive, get you more motor unit activation when you're focused on an external goal rather than being super internally focused on your technique. But sometimes it is good to work on your technique intentionally and intentionally practice, but you're not always necessarily getting your best jumps out of that. You are getting specific technique practice. So yeah, that's about it for the training. Next week's video will contain that sprint session that I described, maybe some upper body footage if I get around to recording it, but I'm a little crunched for time at times, so it's kind of hard to get upper body sessions recorded. But we got one more week basically of hard training, and I'll get a slight deload, and then it's time to test out my athleticism, test out my vertical, test out everything, see where I'm at, see if the dunks are coming easier, see if sprints are coming a little better. Trying to think of anything else. Subscribe, like the video, go watch Jacob's content. Jacob posted his meet video last week. Go watch it. Be on the lookout. There's gonna be more powerlifting content, more athletic content. It's gonna be more like shorter, not short form content, but like in real life. Won't be covering months and months of experiments. It will be single day experiments because I need a break from these long-term experiments. I need to make something that I can just sit down and record in a day and then edit it the next day and then post it, right? So we'll get into that. Thank y'all for watching. Like, subscribe, hype, do all the things, comment. What should y'all comment? Glaze me for being smart. Glaze me for being smart. I said, what did I say? Long conjugate sequencing systems. Big words, you know. And I learned most of my stuff on social media through THP, so shout out to them. THP, not just them, there's other people. THP, I follow like 50 strength coaches on Instagram. I could go through my following and be like, I follow that guy. I do nutrition stuff from these two guys, this chick, like, there's all sorts of stuff. Thanks for watching.